We have Grandmaster Divya Deshmukh shaking her hands with her opponent Bassem Amin. What an important clash here at the fourth round of the FIDE Grand Swiss 2025. Divya is playing an absolute gentleman of chess. Bassem Amin is #1 player of Africa. He was the first ever player to cross 2700 ELO from that continent. He's also a doctor and he's a tremendous player. Divya is getting back into the groove. She lost to Abhimanyu in round 1 but then drew against Donchenko and Karthikeyan to reach 1 point out of 3, and now a handshake and off we go. Divya starts the clock. Bassem opens the game with, well, just waits a bit, e4. And one of the things I remember about Bassem is that he is world's foremost expert on the King's Indian attack. He loves to play that opening knight to f3, and well, let's see if he's going to stick to that. Divya goes knight c6, and you can play that with the move d3 here, followed by g3, bishop g2 and castles. But he shifted his repertoire. He goes for the Rosolimo with bishop to b5, and Divya plays this quite interesting move e5. Now notice you can't win that pawn because of takes, knight takes and queen d4 when black recovers the pawn in the spirit of Roy Lopez. c3 and a6. The question is asked. So again, if you take, this time you can take on e5, but I have queen g5 now attacking here and g2. So Bassem quietly goes bishop a4. He has made space for his bishop to come back on the c2 square, and Divya pushes the bishop away with b5. The bishop drops back to c2, and now the knight comes out to f6. The knight is putting pressure on the e4 pawn. White castles here, and if you look at the position closely, it will give you a kind of Roy Lopez vibe rather than Sicilian Rosolimo. e4, e5, d4 played here, and now important moment here for Divya. She goes d6, and the question is, does Bassem push d5? Yes, he does. He pushes the knight away from c6, and knight to a5 is a logical move, because if you went knight b8 trying to come to a better square, then a4 is very strong. Knight a5 goes b3, stopping the knight from coming to the c4 square. This knight is definitely one of Divya's problem pieces because it just cannot get into the game easily. But remember guys, the center is kind of closed, so in that sense her position is pretty decent. Bishop goes to d7, and she doesn't have to hurry too much, but Bassem's pieces are easier to develop. Bishop e3, knight d2 looks easier to play as white. Bishop comes to e3 now, and knight jumps back to e8. The idea of this is to play f5 at some point. So knight goes to d2, and knight comes back to b7. He pushes his pawn to b4, and white would love to hit on the queen side with a4 later, like if you go c4, play a4. So that's the reason why Divya takes the pawn. But at this point, Bassem's position is clearly for choice. It's so much better. g6 played. Well, Divya is going ahead with her idea, but white's queenside play is super quick. a4 played, and there you go, f5 on the board. Takes, e takes f5, and Divya takes back with the pawn, controlling all the squares here. But maybe bishop h6 is possible. Bassem goes a5, making square for the bishop here, but I'm not a very big fan of this move a5 because now the queen side play is a little bit limited. Meanwhile, Divya's king side attack is brewing. King h8, look at her making her moves very naturally. She can go with her queen here. There you see knight g7, playing her moves quickly, naturally, has 30 minutes on the clock. Rook g8 coming in to put pressure here. Suddenly black's position looks pretty good. The knight on b7 still a problem piece, but your other pieces are playing well. So the knight is like, well, I can take one for the team there. Rook c8, now getting the rook to the open file. Beautiful. The knight jumps to g3, putting pressure on the f5 point. And queen e8 played here. The queen is planning to move to these squares. Bishop h6, jumping in. And now Divya plays calmly her queen to f7. Bassem jumps in, knight to g5, trying to get into the e6 square. So Divya chops it off. Bishop takes g5. Already white's position looks pretty good once again. Now with these pieces nicely positioned, look at the rook a3 ready to swing. f4 played. This does give up the e4 square. Rook f3 also is a possible move, but goes knight e4. And now Divya can go like knight to f5 maybe, but she goes bishop f5. That's interesting. She's looking at to chop off this knight, I believe. Bishop f6 played. And can we jump in with rook c4? Maybe. Goes queen to g6. Bishop takes g7 taken here. And queen takes g7 with the idea of rook g8 to put pressure on the g2 point. And g4 played. What a nice move, because if f takes g3, he wants to swing his rook over. That's why the rook was hiding here. But Divya goes rook c4. She sees that this is not hanging. The king is under a pin. By the way, notice that we are on move 30. Divya has only 3 minutes to make 10 moves, while Bassem has 10 minutes. The bishop drops back to g6. Rook to c3, offering a trade of rooks here. But now you can chop off the pawn on b4. Divya is like, what's your plan, Bassem, here? Why did you give me the pawn? Rook c6 was what he wanted. And f3. Wow. Pushes the pawn in, and maybe to get the other rook coming in. It's brilliant. Knight goes to g3. But now there's a big tactical shot. Divya has 1 minute on the clock left. Can she spot it? Look at that nervous energy, but also that excitement on her face. She can see it. Boom! Rook takes g4. What a move by Divya. What a move. A rook sacrifice. H takes g4, gives a check. Knight has to go here, because if king g1, queen h3, it's a mate here. You have to give up your queen. So knight h5. Now bishop takes h5. Takes here. Queen c1. That is what he wanted, to trade queens. But Divya has this incredible resource. Rook f4. She finds it. Bassem gives a check. Divya comes up. She's finding all of these moves with just a minute on her clock. 37 minutes. Check here to the king. Attacking the knight. Now you must drop back the bishop. Give a check. Finds it. King comes up to g3. And again, very important to go queen g5. Finding the move, attacking g4 pawn. 39th move. And she jumps here. Bishop f5. Bassem jumps with the bishop, defending here. And Divya finds an insane 40th move, bringing the knight, which was a problem piece, looking at her opponent's score sheet, getting a bit relaxed that now she has 50 minutes on the clock. Wow. Takes off her specs, puts it on the side. This last move was just so beautiful. Knight, which was a problem piece all this while, comes back, and Bassem has to give it up because so many threats in the position, you know. Here bishop h5 later threatened if the rook moves. h5 was coming in, so gives up. But d takes c5. And now Divya materially is also doing very well. D6 pushed here. The D pawn is dangerous, but bishop h5 is a killer blow. Finds it. The threat is bishop takes, queen takes, and a mate. So rook comes to g1, and this idea is very cool because if bishop takes g4, takes, queen takes g4, king h2, you lose the queen. So I have to be a bit careful here, but I think Divya will have it figured out. She takes on g4. Bishop takes g4, rook takes g4, and now rook takes g1. It's going to be trading all the pieces here. She has it all covered. Rook takes, queen is attacked, queen takes queen, rook takes, and is the pawn queening here? Well, the problem is Divya has rook f5, rook f8 to get back, and it is all over. She's a rook up, and what an insane game by Divya Deshmukh. Gives a check, and Bassem resigns there with a very nice smile on his face, a gentleman at heart. But what a game by Divya Deshmukh. Tremendous play, her first win in FIDE Grand Swiss, and actually she's managed to do something truly spectacular here. Maybe the first ever women player to win a game at FIDE Grand Swiss. I don't think anyone else has played this event before. Goryachkina also is playing and won the round, but it was an amazing display by Divya. Once she had a decent position, after that not so great opening, she was all over her opponent, and we managed to get a few words with Divya after the game as she joined our live stream. We'll show you what she had to say about the game. Hi Divya, congratulations.
Thank you.
What a game today it was, and we were of the opinion that you were in trouble out of the opening. Did you feel the same?
I was also having the same opinion.
Could you take us
The opening
through?
was horrible for me.
The opening didn't go so well, right?
Yeah, no.
What went wrong according to you?
I forgot my preparation.
You can see the board, yes?
Yes, I can see.
So it was this line, and it very quickly went into a Rui Lopez, right, in a way?
Yeah, I realized that during the game I was trying to think of Roy Lopez with black side in my head and trying to see if it's the same position.
True.
Actually, we were also looking at that similar.
Yes, I think the only problem is this knight on a5 is a bit misplaced, right?
Yeah, that was horrible. The opening was just bad.
But one thing that was working in your favor was that you had a very clear plan, right? Which was to go for the f5 break.
Yeah. Thankfully, I had only one plan in the position, so I didn't manage to screw that up.
And was it easy decision to take this pawn on b4, or were you contemplating also to push the pawn here?
I honestly, after I went knight b7, I didn't think he would go b4. I thought that he would maybe. I was thinking some knight e1, knight d3 ideas, but I was anyways going to go g6. So I think he played well, but for me, it was a bit of a tricky decision. But I just thought that if I go c4, a4, and then he takes on b5, and I was thinking of taking with the bishop, but then bishop a4, and eventually my pawn is weak or the file opens up, and I didn't want to give him that.
So that's the reason why you decided to take it here, cb,
Yeah.
and then g6, a4, f5 directly, yeah, going in for it, takes.
I didn't have a choice.
yeah, exactly. You didn't have a choice, and a5 felt somehow to be not so good, yeah, in the game. Did you feel it?
Yeah, I was also surprised when he went e5.
By the way, Divya, your video went away.
क्या हुआ?
पता नहीं, मैं हूँ इसलिए पास में टेक्नीशियन
Okay.
नाइस
कुछ तो हाँ,
ऑल इन वन जॉब मिला आपको
ये क्या एंगल है?
ये क्या है
ये कौन
मेरे
सा?
पैर है
गिर
ये
गया
पैर कहाँ?
आई थिंक तुम्हारा फोन गिर गया है
भाई ये इतना टेक्नोलॉजी होना भी अच्छा नहीं है।
आप श्योर हो आप टेक्नीशियन हो
क्या
इधर
क्या
के
हुआ पता है? फोन का कैमरा ऑन हो गया है, फोन
अच्छा,
नीचे था, तुम्हारा पैर दिख रहा था।
got it. Okay. This is your laptop.
थोड़ा ज्यादा टेक्नोलॉजी आ गई। यस यस, लैपटॉप लैपटॉप।
Okay.
okay got it okay now it's fine
So
यू नो मैंने इसीलिए रिकॉग्नाइज किया कि कितना पिंक पिंक पहना है ना मैंने
so Divya, did you feel
हाँ
A5 was a little bit too like not the best, or you didn't think that way?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought that he should try to open up, but at the same time, I wasn't sure how he should continue. I was checking some plans with bishop d3, rook c1, and but here I think can't go bishop d3. I'm not sure. Either too he can't go, of course, due to e4. But look, in the future, I was thinking that he should try to put pressure, and if I take on a4, maybe he has some queen e2. But honestly, it's a very difficult position. Even I'm not sure what to do.
Right. So A5, you went bishop F6, and also now you have a path for your knight, knight D8, knight F7, and let's get it into the game.
Yeah, but I saw that and I realized that even after reaching f7, the knight goes nowhere. It has no job.
But at least it looks better than on B7. King H8.
It's okay. In the game, that knight came to help, so it's okay.
Oh, it was the most important knight at coming to C5 at the end.
Exactly.
Rook C8, knight
okay
G3.
here you saw f4 kya Divya and you rejected
I was thinking f4, but I was, f4 should be 6, and then
that's
queen
okay
e7.
that
Okay, I saw these ideas, but I was just a little bit hesitant
no
to
it
fix
was
my
good
pawns without some.
good that you didn't play that because
I
for
realized
f4
later.
queen d3 was the problem f4 queen d3 and then you had to take on c2
Rook
and
c2, and then.
but
Yeah.
then white is
I
going to
didn't
lose
want
that
to
pawn
enter this and two pieces versus rook. I tried to calculate it a lot of times, but I never liked it because of my knight.
That's great understanding. Queen E8, bishop H6.
So here I wanted to go queen g6 initially, but then bishop g7, knight h4, queen g5, and then you exchange everything, and I don't like that position for me.
So that's the reason why you went queen F7, knight G5,
Yes.
queen took,
Yeah.
bishop takes, and now pawn to F4,
Yeah.
knight E4.
I think, like, despite this engine showing that it's good for white, I think practically it's very hard, especially with low time. Like, in this position to go g4, it's not normal.
Oh, how did you know G4 is a good move here?
I was analyzing in the broadcast, so
Oh,
I saw.
okay, yeah. G4 is like insane.
Yeah. I missed it even when he played g4. I was never considering it.
Right. Queen G6 takes, queen takes, and now he played G4, and the rook came into C4.
Yeah, at this point I was confident. I just had no time.
You played a flawless attack from here.
Well, then I think I should stop thinking if I play flawless when I have no time.
Yeah, your intuition is very powerful. F3, knight G3, rook
oh yeah
takes
I think he was
G4.
shocked
Wow.
yeah with this move
I love this move.
What a move. What a move.
I
he
played
didn't
it
play for
without
a long
checking
time
queen c1, but I'm just lucky it worked out in my favor.
no he didn't play for a
After,
long
af-
time no after rook g4 so was
yeah,
he
because he was calculating this queen c1, so because he didn't play for a long time, I was also calculating, so that helped me also.
But why is queen C1 very important? Like, just to control H6, right?
Not here. After queen
Oh, you mean
h6.
in the game. Okay.
Yeah.
Check. Knight H5 takes, and now queen C1. But you had rook F4.
अरे ये बोलना आसान है, but there are so many tricks in the air. He can go g5 at some point. He can go rook c8, rook h1. There's also rook c7. I have to be very accurate. Like I thought rook c8, bishop e8 would work, and then maybe I have something, but yeah, it doesn't work.
Here it's important to go king g7, not bishop e8, but you have to block it by coming up and now bishop f7.
Also, when you have this pura free flowing attack, you don't want to go something like knight c5.
Right.
Like you just want to checkmate and get it over with.
But then it was the only move, and it was also the 40th
Yeah.
move.
Yeah, I was very scared.
Right.
When Queen C1 happened, I thought, okay, I saw till this knight c5, and I was like, okay, ठीक है, maybe चल जाएगा. But yeah, it's hard to make moves like knight c5.
And you did it in 1 minute here. What were you like? Did you calculate rook f5 and then you saw no, this is not like
Yeah, of
what
course.
was
I saw
going
rook
through your
f5 and then my knight goes. So
Right.
I don't want to do that. I checked some h5 and there was rook f7, queen c7. But I'm not sure if it was here because now I have rook g4 threat. So for h5, I saw rook e4.
Oh my god. Wow.
And I wanted to avoid rook e4 also. I wanted to avoid bishop e6 also. So knight g5 seems like the perfect way to do it.
Insane. Knight c5, and then once you get 50 minutes, sometimes you make a move.
Then life is good. Life is chill.
Yeah, you don't know the evaluation, and then you sit down and then you're calculating and you realize like, okay, now it's all perfect, right?
Yeah, intuitively I knew that after knight c5 I should be okay, because worst case, even if I don't have a checkmate, I have two pawns for an exchange. His rook is trapped on c7 and his king is in the center, so should be fine. So I didn't bother calculating at that point. मैं just थोड़ा सा घूम रही थी, and I knew that rook c5 d6 is an idea, because what else can you do? And I found this bishop h5 very last minute. I was always calculating h5, and then there was rook e4, and I did not like that at all. And then I found this bishop h5.
Wow. Bishop h5, and now rook e4 does not work because
Just bishop g4. Yeah.
bishop takes, and queen takes. So there's no, wow, amazing. So rook g1, and yeah, here you finished it
Also,
off.
I'm lucky with all of my pawn placements, because एक भी pawn इधर उधर होता तो check वैक कुछ लग जाता.
And rook comes back. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It was I think a very your like game where you were like fighting hard and finding resources, and it's amazing, Divya. We didn't know that you have a fixed board here in the tournament. Did you were you aware?
Yeah. I got to know before the tournament. Yeah.
That's so amazing. And today, there is a live stream on FIDE that is just your game. It's no commentary, nothing. It had more than 1,000 concurrent viewers watching it at the same
I
time.
think it's very good for upcoming chess players to also, especially girl chess players who want to inspire to be the best. What's more convincing than playing the strongest players.
It's incredible, and we are pumped up. Good luck to you, Divya.